These sliders are perfect for Manager Career Mode Road to Glories and long-term saves. They're balanced for realism and not arcade football, and I'll explain why each setting matters. Let's fix Career Mode. To start, we're going to change the base settings. So initially, as you load onto FC26, you want to navigate up on your menu screen to the cog at the top to the settings menu. And then when you're on settings, you just want to go to settings and straight to game settings. This should allow you to change the base things, and you just want to go to match afterwards. So for these settings, I recommend for half length you go with around 5 to 6 minutes. Personally, I prefer 5 minutes because I just think it's better. You don't have too long of a games, but 6 minutes is perfectly fine. For your game difficulty, I recommend Legendary, but you can go World Class if Legendary is a little bit too difficult for you. I think Legendary is perfect, but it's up to you. Competitive mode, now you want that to be off, just to remove any sort of unrealistic value that it might add. And player-based difficulty, you can turn this on, but you can have it off if you want. It's optional. These settings give the sliders a little bit room to breathe, a little bit of breathing room, just so it feels a lot more realistic. Now, none of the other settings here matter, so you can just go jump in to your career mode, and then we can change the settings from there. I'm just going to start a career mode with Leeds United. You can start one with anybody. I'm just doing Leeds because I support Leeds, and you should already have most of these settings sorted. And now we can just go over to game type settings, and at first you shouldn't be able to change anything because it should be on authentic, which is alright, but personally I recommend going on custom and changing it yourself. For the first one, you want to change acceleration, this should be around 49, so it wasn't far off on authentic, but I think 49 is the best. Now changing sprint speed as well, this should be 48 for both the CPU and the user, just because it slows the game down just enough to stop pace abuse without killing counter-attacks, and positioning matters more than raw speed. For acceleration, you want to change this to 49 for both the user and the CPU. This prevents players from exploding unrealistically from a standstill. Now, next one should be shot error. You want to change the user shot error to around 55 and the CPU to 60. Not every shot should be a rocket. This creates more missed chances, deflections, and realistic scorelines, rather than having 6-2 for every single game. Now, shot speed should be 48 for both, which the authentic is already at, which is a good. This makes shots feel heavier and a lot more grounded. Now, you can leave these two, they don't really matter. Header shot error. Now you want to go to pass speed as your next one, and you want to change pass speed up to 47 for both the user and the CPU. Now, this is huge for realism. This is probably one of the most important aspects about this. And build-up play will actually feel realistic now, and counter-attacks won't be happening every 42 seconds. Now, a lot of this stuff still matters, but just kind of like the basics you want to go for. And once you've done pass speed, we can now do pass error. Now, this should be set to 53 for the user and 57 for the CPU. This makes misplaced passes create midfield battles, and it's not constant tiki-taka with you and your opponents. Now we can go down to injuries. Now, injury frequency should be set to 65 for both you and the CPU. You'll see more knocks and fewer season-ending injuries, so it's a lot more realistic to how injuries work in FIFA. Now, injury severity should be set to 30 for both, which will make long-term injuries a lot less likely. Now, for your goalkeeping ability, you want to set the user to 52 and the CPU to 55. Goalkeepers finally feel human with this, not gods or not like traffic cones that you've stuck in the net like Cal the Dragon. Now, you should go to positional marking on team positioning. Now, this should be set to 55 for both, and this defender's track runs a lot better, especially in the box, so it'll make defending corners a lot easier and defending runs easier. Now, run frequency, you should be set to 35, and the CPU should be set to 40. This reduces constant AI spam runs and creates smarter movement. Now you want to do your line height, and that should be set to 50 for both the CPU and the users. This creates a balanced defensive shape with no broken high lines, which is really annoying because whenever I play career mode, I find my line is either on the halfway line or in my net. Now, the line length you want to make 45 for both. Teams stay compact and midfield matters, which is very, very important for both sides. Line width should be set to 50, which is what it is, and then you can move on to ball control. So first touch control error should be set to 60 for the user and 65 for the CPU. Bad touches happen especially under pressure. This is what separates elite players from average ones. So this should make it a lot more realistic in regards to your 72 rated player taking touch like Neymar, and actually using Neymar taking touch like a 72 rated player would. Now I find you can finish the sliders off here. I think this is these will make your gameplay a lot more realistic. Finish the sliders, you can now start your career mode, and these sliders should help you in a lot of ways, because they shouldn't make the game feel harder, they should make it feel fairer, and you will see more 1-0 and 2-1 scorelines, fewer 5-4 scorelines like I was saying earlier, more draws and more tactical battles. This is career mode the way it's meant to be played. However, let's say you've played a couple more games and you feel you don't really like it. What you can do is you can go back to your settings and you can correct a couple. So what I think would be good is, if the game feels too easy, you can definitely do shot error for the CPU. You can lower that by 2, just so you will find a lot more shots hit the back of the net, and it will be a lot more powerful. And if it feels too slow, you can then go back up to sprint speed, maybe raise it by 1 or 2 for both. But don't break the blueprint, don't break it, because then don't like wipe it all out, because then it will feel unrealistic. Change each one by maybe 1 or 2 max, either way, depending on how you feel. Now, if these sliders helped you, make sure you drop a like, it really helps the channel. Subscribe for more career mode tips, rebuilds and realistic saves, and remember, trust the blueprint. Now guys, I want you to make sure you rate these sliders up to 5 matches in the comments down below, because that will really help and give people an understanding of how these sliders work and allow them to see if they work. And if they don't work, I'll make new sliders for you, just so you can definitely get the best out of your career mode experience. Make sure you follow me on Twitch, the link should be in my channel below. But that's all from me, so make sure you trust the blueprint, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.